It is so cold.
Yeah,
It
sorry.
is so cold. Thank you for the blanket.
Yeah, our house is cold.
I don't know why I brought a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Well, I know why I brought a t-shirt. I don't know why I also didn't bring a jumper.
It's winter now, right?
No, winter's June for us.
Mm.
It's the back end of autumn?
Yep. And it's a storm. Well, it's rain.
Stormy night, rainy.
Rainy, and you're wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah. I don't know why I make these decisions. I don't know. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back to Collectania of Everything,
Yeah.
where we talk about literally anything.
Everything and anything.
We're not actually literally. We actually draw our line somewhere.
Yeah. We haven't done that politics episode yet, but warming up to it, so we'll see. But yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for the reviews you've been giving us on Apple Podcasts. Really appreciate it. Boost us up through the charts, which is awesome. And we actually got heaps of feedback on our last episode on when Marnie was there in Studio
Really?
Ghibli films. Yeah, we got a lot of people reaching out. We asked you guys what your favorite Studio Ghibli film was, and there was an overwhelming amount of support for Kiki's Delivery Service.
It does seem like a
People
up
love it.
there one. I like it. I
I like
as well.
it too, but it didn't blow me away. I might need to rewatch it.
I think it's just, I don't know, it's just a nice, simple story, and it's...
Yeah, real fun, cool
Yeah.
characters. Then there was someone who agreed with me that Spirited Away is a superior Ghibli movie, so thank you, I agree. And we also had someone saying the Arietti.
Arietti?
Arietti, there we go.
Yeah, there
I
we
need
go.
to see it to understand how to say it. But yeah, Arietti was someone's favourite as well, so it's pretty interesting.
Was it someone else's when Marnie was there? I thought someone else backed me up on that.
No, I don't think we had anyone saying that was a favourite. But we do have
You
people.
sure?
We have people listening to it after the podcast, which is cool.
I saw someone.
So let us know what you thought of it. If you did watch it, make sure to jump in our Discord in the show notes. You can let us know what you think about what we talk about.
I don't know. It's really helpful.
Yeah,
Any form of feedback.
totally. Anyway, should do a drink check. I'm drinking coffee at 8 o'clock at night, 8:30. This is probably the latest we've done a podcast before.
No, I think it is. It's the latest we started one,
Yeah.
I think.
8:30 p.m.
I'm drinking tea. I don't know. This one doesn't have a label on it.
There we go, another mystery tea.
I think it's just Bell is the brand. Bell Black Tea.
Bell just do like a single type of tea, right?
I think so. Oh,
It's just the classic Bell.
maybe. I don't know if I've seen any others, but
We're probably alienating everyone listening from out of New Zealand. Is Bell like an international brand? Who
I don't
knows?
know.
Who knows? Let us know.
It's just a very basic black tea, and it's quite tasty.
I should have gone with that. I've been awake since like 6:30. I was worried I wouldn't be able to get through this, so I'm drinking coffee, and I'm probably going to get through this and more. So here we go. But how's your week been?
Yes, hasn't been too bad.
Yeah.
It's a bit tiring. I haven't done my research into the into the Black Cat of South Island.
Yeah.
But
our next cryptid or legend episode that you're going to be doing. But coming up, guys.
Very lazy with that, but I do intend to do it as
Yeah.
much as there is information on it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know anything about it, so I'm
I
ready.
know like bits and pieces, and I fear that that's all there is out there.
That could be another good episode. We just try and piece together the pieces, see what it means.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. I've had a pretty full-on 2 weeks. I've been travelling around for work. I was in Auckland pretty much not last week, but the week before that. Man, it's been a while since we've done an episode. But yeah, I've been in Auckland. I've also been heading back to the movies recently, which has been cool. I know that, I've been going to the movies since like middle of last year. And I just realised that it's not really a normal thing overseas. I'm still seeing friends of mine and people I know just heading back, which it's pretty interesting. But yeah, I went to the movies. I saw Quiet Place Part 2.
I haven't been to the theatres in it feels like years.
Yeah, flip. Since you've had a kid, probably
so
not.
long that I still call it the theatres.
The theatres.
Yeah.
The movie theatres. The cinema. The movies. The talking pictures. But you wouldn't have gone since you had...
Moving pictures.
The talkies? What's the talkies?
That's just when they started talking, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
It's
The
when
silent
they started
movies,
having-
the talkies. Moving pictures, yeah. Yeah, this episode we're doing film history, guys. No.
Well, that's where we get movies from, isn't it? Moving pictures.
Moving pictures. Yeah,
Movies.
You're right. There we go.
Is that a
didn't
Kiwi
click
thing?
for
Is
me.
that just a New Zealand thing
Yeah.
to call them movies?
I don't know. I've always called it the movies, but that kind of can be used for anything. If I'm coming around to your place to watch a movie, I'm going to the movies. I don't know. But what's the last movie you saw? Aliens, the original, or the sequel to Alien.
The last movie I've seen at home.
At the movies.
Oh, at the movies.
At the moving pictures.
At the cinema.
At the cinema. Before you had your kid. Probably, right?
Yeah, it was. It was the original Alien.
That was like July or August or something.
That's how old I am. No, they our cinema had a showing of it
Yeah.
just because they occasionally will show really old movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was the. I think that was the
ages
last.
ago.
I think that was probably nearly 2 years ago now, right? No,
No,
flip. No, what am I saying? No, it's over a year though. I'm pretty sure.
How old's your kid? Oh, not a year yet.
Oh shoot. No, because it was mid to late way, like
Yeah.
it was like
Your
near
kid's
the
not
end.
one yet. It was just before.
Yeah, but I think I still had like 2 to 3 months to go.
Oh, there we go. Must have been June, July. Must have been this time last
So
year.
it could be nearly a year.
Yeah, there you go.
It's-
Nearly a year
how
since you last went to the movie.
It might be a little bit over a year. I don't know. It depends on when.
It's late, guys. You
Oh
have to
my
excuse
goodness.
us for going off topic.
It feels like it's longer than it actually is.
Yeah.
That's the issue here.
But I've been keeping it up. That's A Quiet Place Part 2. That was awesome.
We really want to watch that.
Yeah. I liked it more than the original. I won't go into it. No, let's do a spoiler episode right now on Quiet Place Part 2.
A spoiler for me.
I really loved it. I enjoyed it.
I could just leave the room for a bit.
Yeah. And then I saw Spiral last week.
What's...
Spiral's the latest in this. Well, it's like a reboot of the Saw franchise.
Oh.
And it's a lot more like grittier thriller instead of just blood and guts and torture devices. But I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed Quiet Place too. And I'm living it up at the movies. Looking forward to Conjuring coming, the third Conjuring movie coming out, not next week. No, yeah, next week. So that'll be cool.
I'm left out with all the I've been left behind. I think with all these sorts of movies, I don't really keep up with all the all the movies coming out. Like I don't know. I think I'm just used to. I got into the mindset last year that there was just not going to be anything good coming out for ages.
Yeah.
And so I haven't been bothering keeping up. And so
You've
now it's
missed all
just
these.
suddenly all these good movies are coming out, and I'm just like, oh shoot, it's already out.
It's interesting though, because I remember like Mortal Kombat. I saw the latest Mortal Kombat last month. Just came out at the movies, and already I think this week it's been released like for rental on like iTunes and
Yeah,
stuff.
I saw that.
So it's pretty interesting world we're living in, where it's not. You used to have to wait months and months and months to be able to see something after it came out of the movies. But
Yeah. Now it's pretty quick.
yeah, if not instant, if you've got an HBO Max and stuff. But yeah, I've watched a lot of horror movies, and I think that leads nice segue into our topic we've decided to talk about today. We just thought, it's our 10th episode of Collect Tiny of Everything, bit of a milestone. We're not doing a big thing about it, but we just thought we'd just do a chill episode, talk about a couple of our favourite horror movies each, because we're both horror fans.
Yeah. I would say that one of my favourite genres is horror.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It didn't always used to be, but
I've always liked horror.
yeah.
No, I have. I didn't, and I guess I just hadn't been introduced to a lot of good horror movies.
Yeah, because there's so many bad ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's funny because a lot of the horror movies that people would consider bad are probably my favourite ones, like the really old, like corny ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Or just old horrors in general.
Yeah.
I quite like. Like I like the I guess that's the segue into what our favourite horror movies are, because I like the thing is I will admit a lot of them are bad. Like I will say
A lot of your favourites aren't
well,
cinematic masterpieces.
like I've explained to you before that I like The Shining, but and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this.
You are, dude, because it's one of my favourite movies.
I really enjoyed it, but at the same time, I was like, this is, I don't know, it felt very flawed, and there was, I had a lot of issues with it.
Well, I mean, you're on Stephen King's side there. It wasn't his favorite. It wasn't his favorite movie either.
Really?
And it was adapted from his book, so I can't argue.
But overall, like, I enjoyed the experience of it.
Yeah.
I think it was... I don't know, I just like the feel of those old...
Iconic, and a real cool,
But then the thing is what, I guess, what my criticism is if it wasn't old, I would hate it. Like, if it wasn't...
Came out nowadays?
Well, like, I feel like if I watched it at the time that was, like... I don't know, if I watched it at the time that this is, like... This is the effects that... To the extent our effects can go, you know, and stuff like that, and our filming quality and stuff, I probably wouldn't have liked it, is what I'm saying.
So if you were in the 70s and went to see The Shining...
Or if it came out now, is probably a better way of saying it. I guess, if it came out now and, like, they didn't change the story, but they may have changed the effects and made it better.
You saw Doctor Sleep?
I did, and I didn't like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it same kind of reasoning, or...? Because again, I thought that was nearly as good as The Shining.
Yeah, see, the thing is that I don't know. I guess I came to realize, and I realized that when I was watching it, I probably realized it straight away, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just that the reason why I like it is I like the feel of it. I like the old, like, I don't know. It's just weird. And you can call me weird for liking this, but it's like, I feel like the bad quality of, like, the filming, the sound, and all that sort of stuff just adds charm to it. It makes it more enjoyable for me, because it's just like I'm sitting down and I'm watching. It's I can't explain it. I don't think, but it's just different. I enjoy the experience.
I know you like practical effects a lot more than CGI and
definitely.
stuff as well. Yeah,
and I think I don't know. It just has a different feel about it, and I can't really explain. But when I watch Doctor Sleep, even though I liked the actors in it, and it was a lot better quality and everything like that, I don't know, I couldn't enjoy it as much. And I think also just the fact that I think there was, like, one scene in it which I found a little too disturbing.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was
it the start of it?
No, it was like midway.
I need to rewatch it. But it was pretty creepy.
It wasn't creepy. The thing was
Really?
that I didn't actually find it that creepy. I found it disturbing, which is, to me, it's a different feel. See, like, I guess the old timey feel of, like, The Shining, the original, that adds creepiness to it. The fact that it's old, that everything, it's like poor quality. I don't know. It just adds the creepy vibes to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, this is silly because it's so old and corny. But then the next one, Doctor Sleep, I didn't find creepy at all, but I found it disturbing. And I think that, for me anyway, there's a difference there, where I'm like, it's not like, oh, I can sit back with a hot cup of cocoa and, you know, wrap myself up in a blanket and watch this and, you know, it's going to be creepy. This is like, oh, crap, I have to, like, block my ears or turn away. It sounds really... No, it's not scared. It's just like, ugh, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so this is a spoiler, so you could...
Spoiler for Doctor Sleep.
Spoiler for Doctor Sleep. It was the scene where they were basically all murdering that child.
Yeah, and that was a full-on scene.
For me, it wasn't creepy. It was just disturbing.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like it was just... It just put me off. I was just like, ugh, I don't want to hear a child... Like, even though it's not happening, it's all in the... You know, it's still the sound and everything like that. For me, it's just like... I don't know, I can't... It's still a kid that's meant to be in your imagination getting murdered brutally. And it's like... It's just really disturbing for me.
Yeah.
Whereas I think... Because this isn't actually in my top favourite horror movies. The
Shining.
But it segues nicely into
one of my... Segue, it's getting there.
Yeah.
I have realised this with you, though, because a lot of times we've watched similar movies.
Yeah.
And it's like Doctor Sleep, The Conjuring, movies like the latest It's, or even like Hereditary and stuff. I'm massive fans of them, and I love them. And I guess I love horror movies for that feeling of, I want to be freaked out. I want to be at the edge of my seat. I want it to make me, I don't know. I love how horror movies can make you feel something.
Yeah.
And I just love that story of people trying to survive against odds that are insurmountable sometimes.
Yeah.
And things that make me do feel that way. And I think a lot of newer horror movies do it well. I just love.
Yeah.
So a lot of those movies, like Doctor Sleep, The Conjuring, are some of my favorites.
Yeah.
And like the latest Aliens, like we talked about last week.
Yeah.
But you're always you're a sucker for the originals. Like you love the original Alien, you love The Thing, the original It.
Yeah. I quite like both things though. The original and then the
newest.
Yeah. I don't know. I obviously I preferred the original, but like the newer one.
Yeah.
I don't know, it still had it didn't feel like they changed too much. Like it felt like it was just, oh yeah, this is just a prequel.
Yeah.
You know, right. Same feel. Well, similar feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely am. And I think especially when it comes to... I guess for horror, I prefer being creeped out. This sounds a bit weird. I prefer being like... I don't know. It's
Do you like jump
tricky.
scares? Like you like...
I can enjoy them.
You're a very like jumpy person.
I get jump scared really easily though. But the thing is that if I watch a horror movie and it's just got jump scares and that's what it is, I won't enjoy it.
Yeah.
If I watch a horror movie and it's just gruesome and it's just gore and violence,
for the sake of it, yeah,
I won't enjoy it. But like, I prefer the suspense, I guess, and the I guess creepiness of a lot of them. So that's why I prefer, a lot of the time I prefer horror movies that are about either like some kind of creepy monster.
Yeah.
Or I start like trailing off into like psychological thrillers.
Yeah.
Whereas if the movie, like this is the issue I had with Alien Covenant, is that it is literally just jump scare and gory killing. So it felt like,
I think that when you
I
go
know
back
this
to
gets into a lot of the like the I don't know, I think this gets into a big heavy debate of what is and isn't classed as these kind of movies, but I called it a slasher film. Yeah, I know that's a slasher film is a very specific kind of like horror kind of film, and there's a monster or someone that's like killing people. But it felt like that. It was like it was the same kind of like, oh, I fell and I broke my ankle. Now I've got to. It didn't quite happen like that, but
I would argue though that the original Alien was too.
Yeah, it might be what they were trying to get, but like it definitely had a more suspenseful feel, I felt, throughout it. But also, it was the idea of it. They're trapped on a spaceship with this alien running around. Yeah, it was just one single alien running around. That was the one, thing that they had to worry about, except for that android. Yeah, watch Alien, guys. It's good. Yeah, it's a good movie. That would be ranked in here with my top horror movies, but we're not meant to be talking about those because we've talked about them before. But like, I don't know. If a movie if it just feels like it's just gruesome murderings and like disturbing. I also don't like. I don't mind and can quite enjoy some disturbing natures of films, but. I don't know. I think for me there's this fine line that I sort of tread when I'm watching horror movies of like, this is a great horror movie compared to like suddenly this is a horrible movie. And I get you. The ones I love the most are ones that have some theme of hope. Like there's a lot of horror movies that just are unredeemable. Yeah, and they're just this overwhelming feel of hopelessness. And I prefer to steer away from those. I think ones like Hereditary probably fall in that category. Yeah. And it didn't have a great ending, did it? No, it's just very depressing, and like you can admire that it's pretty great filmmaking. The thing is I'll tell you quickly about that. Yeah. Sorry, I keep interrupting. No, this is good. We'll get to it. We'll get to our picks for our favourites, guys. That was a movie I really enjoyed. Yeah. Until the end. Yeah, and I'm with you. It was so suspenseful. You didn't know what the heck was... Well, for me, I didn't know what the heck was going on, but it was so creepy. There's a point that something happens in the middle of the movie that you just don't see coming. And it was just like... It was disturbing. It was disturbing, and I didn't really enjoy that. But at the same time, it was like... It was just shock. Yeah, it was just like... Totally. It wasn't like a long, drawn-out scene. It was just, boom, suddenly this horrible thing happened, and it was like, oh, crap. Yeah. And it was just like, that is... until you get to the end, and then it was just like, oh, I see.
And that's a gripe I have with it as well, because it's just like, hey, what was the point of that? It's just like...
yeah.
I take nothing good away from this other than it was a pretty freaky movie. But
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you'll notice that with my picks anyway, if I can remember them off the top of my head.
I need to check what mine
they aren't typical... they're either very typical horror or they're not, and they're just creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know, I might get a bit of hate for some of the picks. But also I tend to prefer old classic horrors with practical effects.
Yeah.
That's my favourite.
Yeah. I love them as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, so did I already talk about my first one?
What was your first one?
It was... Oh, I was segueing into it and I never got to it.
The final segue?
The original It.
Oh, with... Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that we saw together.
Yeah. So this is a good example, I think, of the originals being very creepy.
Yeah.
There was some... there was gore and there was...
Yeah.
But it was more aimed on the creepy side. You didn't know what was going on. It was a mystery, and it was also creepy.
And this is like the 1990s version for you guys listening. I guess some people might not even know it exists.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about?
The one we watched together.
The one that's split in 2 parts.
Yeah.
And it's
is there another
quite
one?
Old. Well, I'm just meaning it's not the one that came out recently. That everyone knows with the CGI, Pennywise, and yeah.
So no, this is the original.
Yeah.
The one that's split into 2. They're both into 2, but
yeah.
Yeah, it felt like you were watching from the perspective of these kids, and I guess you're questioning through it, like, what's going on? Is it just in their heads?
Yeah. This
is creepy, but there's no sudden breaking of that, like, oh crap, okay, yep, now kids are getting massacred.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas straight away, in the current It's, which I also enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I don't think they stand anywhere near the originals. Like, I don't think they're anywhere near as good. It's like straight away, oh yeah, he just bit a kid's arm off. Oh,
yeah. We're not gonna lead up to it at all. It's just
it's just like boom, and then and just right from the start. Now there's this weird evil clown monster that's killing people.
Yeah,
and it's really gruesome. It's no just like I seem to remember. It's been a while since I watched it, but the originals, like often it would just show, like the kid gets... I think he did get bitten, but I think they didn't show as much, and I think he got like pulled in to into the storm. Like,
I can't remember either, but I remember.
But it was less like they didn't just show you everything.
Yeah,
it was more suspenseful. I think because they showed you less, and it was probably because they had less of a budget or they didn't have as much good effects and stuff. But like overall, I think that movie for me. And the actors they picked as well, which I think a lot of people will probably say was more corny, but Tim Curry as Pennywise back then, he freaks me out more than the he is one. Honestly, he is like
he looks more like a normal clown, but it's just something like off.
Yeah, there's very something. Good. Yeah, that's exactly how I would describe it. It is just like crap. That's a person, but there's something really off about him.
And every shot he says just lingers a bit too long, and it's just
and just the way he communicates and everything, it's just like you question sometimes whether it's like, is this just some psychopath?
Yeah.
That's just but then it's I don't know, and I think that sort of plays into the side of like, is this in their imagination, because it's so bizarre and weird.
Yeah.
And it is meant to be kind of part of their imagination that I think this monster is sort of affecting. It's sort of like an extension of itself and their imagination and stuff. I think.
Yeah, it's their fears.
But I think that's a good example of like a movie that's is really creepy, and I think a lot of the time the effects and everything, the slightly bad special effects and the slightly bad like video quality and sound and everything all play into the creepiness.
I think it was like a TV movie, so it wasn't even like a properly produced. Didn't come out of cinemas. I think it aired on TV over 2 nights or something. So it does have that
and I think
feel.
that whole thing that all comes together and makes this sort of off-putting sort of feel to the whole movie. And I think a lot of those movies, old horrors, have that with their bad quality and stuff. It sort of makes it just feel a little bit like, ugh, it's hard to. I'm bad at explaining these sorts of things. But yeah, so that's one of my faves. I think.
I like that one too.
Faves.
One of your faves.
Technically that's 2, but yeah.
We'll let you off the hook this time. I need to revisit that one. I think I've only seen it that one time when we watched it.
You introduced me to it.
Well, it's because the newest not the newest It Chapter 1 was coming out. We didn't really know anything about it, so we were just like, hey, we'll watch the old movie like a sleepover or something back in the day.
I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. It's real cool going into it blind.
Yeah.
And it was a lot more like, is this real, is it not? Just like you were saying, than the newer ones are.
I would recommend watching the older one before, if you haven't watched the newer one already, before watching the newer one.
Yeah.
It's a lot better experience when you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Whereas the newer one, it kind of, I don't know, I think it's a bit easier to figure it out quicker.
I think it got a lot more creative in the second part as well, the original one, than the newest It Chapter 2 was a little more just, hey, there's a whole lot of gore, a whole lot of
while we try
horror movie cliches, let's wrap it up. Whereas the other one was a lot more like, I don't know, almost like whimsical and weird in a sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
I liked it.
So what's one of yours then?
My favourite movie of all time at the moment. And one of my favourite horror movies in that sense is The Lighthouse by Robert Eggers.
Is it a horror movie? I thought it was like a thriller.
It's interesting because it was advertised as a horror movie, or the trailers were like, hey, it's a horror movie from the maker of The Witch. And it does have a lot of horror elements, but I'm kind of cheating a bit because it is more like a psychological thriller.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch it.
Yeah, we need to watch it together sometime. I really want to see what you think of it. But it's recent black and white movie. It's like a real the video format of it is like a square instead of like your normal aspect ratio. It's like fully a square, black and white, and it's just real atmospheric. It's about 2 lighthouse keepers who arrive at a lighthouse and they need to look after it for a certain period of time. There's one like old veteran played by Willem Dafoe, and I absolutely love him. He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, same.
And the younger Wickie, or the guy who keeps the wick lit, is Robert Pattinson from Twilight fame. And I love him as well. Not his Twilight role in particular, but a lot of the stuff. He's been in a lot of like indie movies recently, which are just great. He's the new Batman. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it's this real slow burn of a movie about these 2 guys, I guess, slowly going a little bit insane while just they're the only people together. I won't. Let's talk about it on the episode. It's hard to talk about it when you haven't seen it. But yeah, it's just like these 2 people slowly going insane in a lighthouse, and you start to question what's reality. You see scenes that play out that may not have actually played out the way because they're from perspectives. You don't know whose perspective they're from. And it's real clever. There's definitely real horror elements in it, but more of a thriller, which I really enjoyed. I guess that's all I can say about that for now. But check out The Lighthouse, guys. I'll try get you to watch it sometime. You'll have to come around and see it, and we'll talk about it.
I just realised that I haven't actually talked to you about this movie yet. I watched it a while back.
Is this your next pick?
No, it's not.
This is just horror movies we like, guys. We're just talking about horror right now.
I have to talk about like one and just an interesting one, and then my favorite, one of my favorites, and then another interesting one.
Okay.
But this is classed as a horror thriller. It came out last year. Yeah, I think I watched it during lockdown.
Have I seen it? What is it?
I think I watched it during lockdown. I don't know if you have. Have you watched? I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It's on Netflix.
Bro, I love it.
I
read the book before watching it. I watched it like the night it came out. Yeah.
Ah, shoot.
The book's so good.
I've been meaning to talk to you about it.
Man, why haven't we talked about this movie? Why haven't we talked about it? It's one of my favourites of last year, yeah.
It's honestly, it was a roller coaster for me. I had no idea
Did you like
what
it?
I was watching at first. We watched like halfway through. Long movie, by the way. It feels like it anyway. Watched halfway through, and then we decided to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was like, we watched halfway through. I had no idea what was going on. And I was seriously getting like, it was messing with my head.
Yeah, man.
Like on a weird level, like not a weird level, but it was like
that's like the definition of a psychological thriller.
It affected me like emotionally afterwards.
Wow.
Like halfway through, I was angry at the movie because I was just like, this is not making any sense. This is just like, I wanted to know what was happening next, but it was like, it was honestly a roller coaster. It was it was, and I can imagine people watching it and just not being affected at all. But for me, like, it was honestly, it was I don't know of any movie that's affected me that much, like that made me think about it that much. I think the stop halfway through really made it that much more for me, because I was just like, it's just this break where I had to try and like figure out what was going on.
I'm stoked you enjoyed it. I didn't know if it would be your thing. Did you?
Did
you like the end?
We watched it to the very end, and then I didn't know what. I still didn't understand it.
Yeah, it's
and
very
then we
like
had to, yeah, and then we had to look it up, and then it was something like, yeah, I can kind of get it now. I wouldn't mind watching it again now, knowing that. It's just such a weird, because there's so much talking.
Yeah.
And you're listening, and you're trying to figure out what's...
And they're talking about like other movies and other stories.
And you don't know what the heck is, what's important and what's not. Yeah. And I think... And it was so disturbing as well, like some of the scenes and stuff, like they'd suddenly walk into a room and someone's aged like 10, 20 years. And then you walk out and then that person's like a child and someone else has aged like 10, 20 years or something. And I was just like, what? Or like, I don't know. And just some of the conversations were just so, like they would just go from being real civilized to suddenly being very like vulgar and very like, and it was just, it was disturbing. And I think it irritated me because it made no sense. There was no consistency throughout the whole thing. And even with the character it was following, it was like everyone was changing, including the main character. And at one point, she changes calling her different names. And, like they change actresses halfway through, and you're just like, what? And then they change it back again. And you're like, it's just... And it makes perfect sense near the end. Yeah. When you realise what's going on. I think if you read the book, you would understand it better. But it was a roller coaster. Like, it was the only movie that I know of where I've watched and I've gotten angry simply because
it's kind of supposed to make you feel that way.
Yeah, it's kind of meant to make you. It's meant to like confuse you, make you think about it for a constant. And I think it wasn't. It was just weird because I wasn't angry at anything in particular. It was just like the movie's just not making any sense. I need to know. It was weird. It was. But I've been meaning to talk to you for like,
when did you watch it?
It was last year during lockdown. I'm
really?
Pretty sure it was during lockdown. We
haven't talked about it since then.
Is that when it came out?
Yeah, I think so. Oh no, it was after, a bit after.
I don't think we were in level 4 because I think we went out for a walk and we met up with Abby, my wife's parents. I think we walked through the park, so it mustn't have been then because that's when we.
Yeah, we have like COVID-19 lockdown levels here, guys.
Yeah, so I think we were allowed to go out for a walk or something.
Yeah,
but
because I got into reading heaps during lockdown.
Yeah.
And I randomly was recommended this book, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Didn't know anything about it. Read it. It's quite a short book.
Yeah.
And I just was blown away and I loved it. And it's very different to the movie.
Yeah.
Like the movie tried to follow some of the same themes, but the complete ending and the wrap up and a lot of the conversations are completely different.
Yeah.
But I was blown away. I got my sister Shamaya to read it.
Yeah.
And she loved it too. And then we found out the movie was coming out and we watched that the night it dropped and just, really good movie. Really good book. That's a book that I recommend anyone to read. One of my favorites. You should read it. You should add it to your list.
Yeah, I'll add it to my steadily growing and not steadily shrinking list.
But yeah, that was good.
Yeah. So anyway, that just randomly when you're talking about, is it just called Lighthouse?
The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse. I started thinking about that.
Some of it because it definitely had some like horror scenes or themes or some things that would happen that were dreadful.
Yeah.
And then, but more of like a psychological thriller, which
I think there was more like stuff that was just disturbing or a bit like off-putting.
Yeah.
Like I remember there was like a scene where there was a lady serving them ice cream randomly in like a snow, like it was snowing and it was cold and they just in the middle of the night stopped somewhere to grab ice cream.
Yeah.
Was it like some kind of thick shake or something?
Yeah, it was creepy.
And she had like some kind of skin condition or something. She was either like bruised or she had like some kind of fungal rash or something. I don't know. It was like really like, you shouldn't be serving ice cream. I don't think it was bruises. I think it was some kind of like rash thing because I remember being like, don't touch the food.
Yeah. That ties into the book. It's real good.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of nowhere. They fill up the thick shake or whatever till it overflows. It's just all these little like
and it's just like slightly like, why are you doing that? Don't do that. That's not right. Yeah. And it's just like, and I think all that sort of just ties in and makes. Is it meant to make you feel angry? When
it's a very like, I don't know how to explain it. It makes you think like crazy, and it makes it brings it makes you feel a whole lot of emotions.
I think I think that was what it's just like when I guess when I get confused with that sort of like when it's just not making sense and it's just a whole bunch of different emotions, I often get frustrated because it's not making sense. I wasn't angry. Is probably not the right word. It was more frustration. It was just like because I was trying to piece it all together in my head, and I was constantly just. It ended up being all I was talking about until we finally finished it, and then I was like, I think having that break sort of dragged it out for me. Having that break in the middle
to think about. That's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, my actual horror
I like
movie.
this. It's really rainy right now.
Yeah.
Perfect day to talk about horror flicks. This is great.
Yeah. So my next one, I thought to just add this. It's not a horror movie. I decided to add it because I find it creepy. It has a lot of creepy vibes that I like in a horror movie, as well as special effects and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's not. It itself is not a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's The Dark Crystal.
Nice. Not what I would have. Yeah, exactly. Not what I would have thought about when you.
This is weird because I watched this movie because this is back when I was dating my now wife.
Yeah.
She forced me to watch it.
Yeah.
I like practical effects, but I find like humanoid sort of like in the what's it called the valley of
what do they call it when it's just real but not? It looks real but not real enough, and it's...
like it looks kind of human.
Yeah.
But not quite right.
Yeah. I get it.
And it's sort of disturbing and it's off-putting because of it. Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny.
Okay, let's just edit that in.
1, 2, 3.
Uncanny Valley. There we go. Right off the tip, right off my tip of my head.
Yeah.
Top of my. Okay.
They didn't hear it. They didn't hear everything. We just edited it out. All the 10 minutes of time searching up. Yep. Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Uncanny Valley.
So this has that kind of feel to me. The Uncanny Valley, when something is similar to being, it's like it's trying to look human, and is close, but it's not quite there. So like a robot, if it's like looks nothing like a human, but has like 2 arms and 2 legs and stands up like a human and has a head, has the basic anatomy, I guess, of a human.
And a lot of people find that like the creepiest things ever.
Yeah, but like if you have a robot that's just very basically kind of similar to, like let's say you go to like iRobot, for instance, because we're talking about movies.
Classic Will Smith.
Not a horror movie, but so if you go like the original old robots and that they're all trying to replace, so that looks nothing kind of similar to human, but they didn't look creepy at all. They didn't try and shape the face and make it look human. The next ones looked more closer to human. They weren't actually that creepy, but they were closer to that Uncanny Valley. That's sort of just like that, sort of slightly off-putting. But that's sort of an example of like something that's, I guess a very weak example of like the difference between something being sort of like humanish but not creepy at all, to suddenly being too close to being human but not quite there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the sort of creepiness I get a lot from the Dark Crystal, from the little, I can't remember what they're called, but the little people that are the main characters in it.
Yeah.
They look kind of humanish, but not human enough, and it just sort of puts off this creepy vibe. But
the bird people are the bad guys, right?
Yeah, the Skeks.
You've been trying to make me watch this for so long.
Yeah,
I don't know why I haven't. I need to, because I love the Labyrinth. I love other Jim Henson stuff.
Yeah. So this is not a horror, as far as I know. Anyway, I don't think it's classed as a horror.
It is to you, but not to you.
Well, it's definitely got that creepy vibe to it, especially from the Skeks and stuff. And it was weird because when I watched it originally, I was like, ugh, that's gross, that's nasty. I don't want to watch that. Like, it's just because of the uncanny. Of it. But when I finally did watch it, I also, like, for a while there, I guess I was in denial. I was just like, no, this is disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little puppets, it's just so gross. And then I think around when the TV show came out on Netflix, or when it was being advertised, I just started getting more interested in watching it again, or watching through it. And I don't know, I guess over the years I've sort of grown this slight obsession with it, with the show, which is weird, and the movie, which is weird because I feel, to me, and like if I watched it as a kid, it would be like a horror movie for me as a kid.
Yeah.
Like it would be a scary movie, to watch. Well, not scary, it would be a creepy movie to watch. And yeah, I guess the reason why I'm putting this here is just because a lot of the same sort of creepy vibes from it, and I know a lot of people, it's not what they want in a horror movie, they're wanting something that's actually going to scare them. I guess for me, a lot of the time, I don't know, it's more about the atmosphere of the
and cool
movie.
Characters and like cool monsters and stuff as well.
And and the effects that are put into it and stuff like that. And and I think even though this isn't a horror movie, I think it has a lot of the themes and stuff that I think are missing from a lot of horror movies.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because it's a kids movie.
Yeah.
It's not but yeah, just I guess any excuse to put in the Dark Crystal somewhere.
You're just trying to remind me to watch it.
I've honestly, I've got inspiration from many D&D villains from
we played a D&D game and you were like, yeah.
I was full on.
You're doing some real creepy characters.
It was a real voice for this
so good.
Yeah, for this one villain. Oh, it was my favorite villain.
Mine too.
My goodness.
And it was original to me because I don't watch Dark Crystal.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, if you're ever gonna get inspiration for a D&D character, always make sure no one else has seen the movie. Like, for whatever you're getting it from. Yeah, no, love that movie. Love the show as well.
I'll do it.
You gonna do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You found my weakness. As soon as you talk about it on the podcast, I got to do it. It happened when with Marnie was there.
Yeah.
Now I got to watch the Dark Crystal. It's right.
Oh, I mean, I think I've been waiting longer for you to watch the Dark Crystal than I was
It's
for
been
Marnie.
years.
That was
years.
9 months for when Marnie was there? 9 months?
9 weeks.
9 weeks.
No.
I am so off with my time. 2 years ago was when I last watched the movie.
Your son's aged 3 years since we've been recording this podcast, right?
Oh my goodness. Okay, but yeah. Okay, so what's your next one?
My next one's another one that I don't think you've seen.
Oh, no.
I'm dreadful for doing this. You just gotta watch more movies, dude. Here you go. I'll say one on the podcast that you need to watch.
Okay.
Fright Night.
Fright Night.
Have you even heard of it?
No.
It's a old school 80s vampire movie.
Liking it so far.
Directed by Tom Holland.
Okay.
Not the young Spider-Man actor, but an older Tom Holland.
Is he related in any way?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay.
It did confuse me when I saw Tom Holland direct. I was like, what? Did you direct this? When
I wonder if it got a lot more views since Tom Holland became a thing.
But it's one that I watched recently just on a whim. Didn't really know what it was. Real old school, real cool special effects, practical effects. My favorite vampire movie ever. And it's about a boy who's obsessed with horror movies. He's constantly watching this old school 80s 24/7 horror movie TV channel. And he looks out his window one day.
Yeah.
And he sees a new man moving into the house next door. And he just starts slightly seeing things off about it. Sometimes he's bringing something out of the cellar. Sometimes he's taking a woman in, and the woman's not coming back out.
Yeah.
He's seeing coffins. He's seeing he just starts to suspect that this guy's a vampire, could be a vampire. And everyone around him, his girlfriend just thinks he's going crazy. He's too into horrors. He's just not sure what's real, what isn't. And he ends up going after this film star, this old film star who acts as a vampire hunter.
Yeah.
And he's not being cast in any movies anymore because he's too old school, and they're trying to modernize horror movies in cinema in Hollywood. But he's this big role model to this kid, and he goes and tries to get him to help him hunt this vampire.
Yeah.
And it's just this real cool. I love it because I love horror movies so much, and especially old school monsters, vampires. But it's just this really cool, really unique story I haven't really seen anywhere else. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I
haven't got much to say about it.
No. I think you'd love it. I mean, we played the vampire on our other podcast, Dungeons & Dragons, or role-playing when we do casual RP. We played a vampire game, and I took a lot of inspiration from my character off the main guy on Fright Night. And even your one, even though you haven't seen it, kind of turned out to be like an old guy who acted as a vampire hunter.
Yeah.
So it was real funny to see because I could play off it a lot because I'd seen the movie. But Yeah, I reckon you'd love it. There's a sequel which is really good. Then they remade it with Anton Yelchin, who sadly passed away. But he's an awesome actor. And that's really good too. David Tennant from Doctor Who fame plays the older actor in that one. But yeah, I love it. Everyone needs to see it. Really, really good.
Yeah, I'll definitely add that to my list.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for more new, like... Is it a horror or is it more comedy?
I mean, it's horrors of the time. Yeah, I don't know. Monsters.
Yeah. I'm always looking for more horrors to watch.
Yeah.
Though. Like,
I reckon it's up your alley. It's up your alley. It's more
really
of what you'd enjoy.
hard, I find, just like to sieve through horror movies to try and find ones that are actually worth watching.
A lot of the ones on Netflix nowadays, they're terrible.
It's like it's not even worth trying. A lot of them, like you look up a few reviews, you kind of get the idea of what the film is,
and even ones back in the day, like there's so many terrible ones in 70s, 80s, 90s, but some of those ones have that charm to it because it's so old and because it's so cheesy and like has all the horror movie tropes that it's still enjoyable. But this is one of the better ones. It's really good.
Yeah,
Fright Night.
I think I forgot what my next one was going to be. Well, I think we've already talked about The Thing. So that's another one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Most of my favorite horror movies actually have probably been introduced by you. I think I watched them because you've recommended them to me or something. Like The Thing is definitely one of them. It's definitely one of them.
That's interesting because that was really cool. We watched The Thing together, and both our wives watched it.
Yeah.
I mean, he usually hates horror movies, but she really liked The Thing for some reason. I don't know. It's a really, really good movie.
I don't know if you've ever recommended The Shining to me though.
Yeah,
that's one that you've.
It's one of my favorites, but I think it's one of the ones that I didn't think you would like because it's not your typical old school monster movie.
Yeah.
It's a bit more like psychological, a bit more twisted.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of anything that's more modern, maybe, that I've watched. There have been a few that I've kind of enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like, thinking back, I did... is it called The Apostle? That one that you really...
Yeah.
I did enjoy aspects of that. I think that, for me, that was too... Like, because there were those, like, torture scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
A little too gruesome. Like, they showed a little too much.
I'd watch that late at night. It was real, like, intriguing. It's about a guy who goes to this random, like, cut off from all civilization town.
And that's creepy.
Looks from his sister.
Like,
and I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And it does have some real full-on scenes. Like, they torture some people in the town. It gets a bit gory and...
To me, though, I think that would have made a far better, like, horror game. Like, video game.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely had... Like, I've watched a few, like, horror video games and their stories and stuff. And it kind of had that same vibe to it that a lot of them do, where it's just very... I don't know. I feel like it would have made a better video game.
I feel bad, though, because I loved it. I recommended it to you.
Like,
I didn't tell you.
Strongly recommended.
I was like, man, this is awesome. I didn't tell you anything about, like, the full-on scenes.
And then I watched it with my wife. I don't know if we were married at the time.
You were just going out, yeah.
With her mum. I think a lot of people that I know that have gotten like video or movie recommendations from you either through me or whatever don't trust your movie recommendations.
Oh no, your mum thinks I'm a weirdo. I think yeah. Oh, that sucks. I feel bad. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I think there's always that feeling, when you watch something that's like...
It was really good up until that one scene where, like, that guy was getting his...
brain drilled into or something.
Wasn't he getting... Yeah, he got, like, his head, like... So maybe we shouldn't talk about it.
Yeah, this is not...
Yeah.
Good movie.
Try and keep this...
It's a bit of a...
It is a little bit too gruesome.
It's a bit gruesome. It's funny things like that, though, because there's some movies like that which I love by myself.
Yeah.
And I watch like a horror movie with one of my parents or something, and there's just something about it that just changes the atmosphere. It's just like, this isn't pleasant. your mother-in-law. Oh no, I'm sorry, Mrs. Griffiths, if you're listening to this. My apologies. Not all my
so
review
much about the movie
that
I found so interesting.
Yeah,
like I found like creepy about it. Like it's just intriguing. And then it's just like, suddenly everything hit the fan, and I was just like, whoa. Yeah. But I can't remember if what's it like? What's another good horror movie that I watched?
I've got two. I've got two good ones I could just quickly talk about.
Yeah, you
I
talk
can't
about
decide
yours
on a
now.
third.
Yeah. Well, you've already talked about two.
Well, we've talked about heaps. These are just heaps that we like, guys. One that I love, which you don't love as much, but you've seen, is The Conjuring.
Yeah.
I've watched it so many times. I've watched it recently with my brother, and he loved it too. And it's just really, I don't know, I really, really just love, there's no other movie that, no other horror movie I've watched that actually gives you that sense of terror. Or, I don't know, not terror, but another movie I've watched that has you at the edge of your seat that much. And every scene, every set piece is just so masterfully set up that you're always like on the edge. You're always waiting for something to happen. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. And I really love the story. And the main two characters, Ed and Lorraine Warren, really cool Catholic couple just going around helping out people who think they might have haunted houses or demons. And
I think I've watched. I think I've only watched two from that series of.
Yeah, it's massive now. I think there's like 5 or 6.
I think I watched this Conjuring 2 randomly.
Yeah.
And Annabelle Creation. I didn't like Annabelle Creation.
We still have the movies together.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I remember.
These are the sort of movies that I would watch, but I wouldn't. I don't want to watch them by myself.
Yeah.
And someone in my household finds it very difficult to then sleep after. So that's a no. I can't watch those sorts of. So I'm sort of stuck where I'm like, I can't just watch. Yeah. So the only way I would ever get to watch one of those is if I had like a movie night out at yours or something.
Yeah, we'll do it sometime. The Conjuring is real different as well, I feel, because it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
And it's like, they've made it seem very real and very feasible. But I don't know, I love it. I love it. I love the whole faith aspect of the whole movie too.
Yeah.
This is something that, I don't know, with my faith, I just love. It's real cool.
I think the thing I quite appreciated about them is because they do feel quite like it's overwhelming, like for the people there. It's like, crap, how are they going to get out of this sort of thing? But there's always that element of hope at the end.
Yeah,
like, there's
totally.
Always, and then like I remember Annabelle Creation. It was honestly, for me, that was sort of on. There were some really disgusting scenes I couldn't watch. Like I had to turn away, just because it was like, I can't.
Vomiting and...
No, I couldn't handle watching. Like there was one scene where someone's like gets like mutilated, kind of, but like they're. I can't handle if I see someone's like
bodily like
any. I'm like
it gets as well like bones cracking or I don't
anything
know.
Like
you
that.
Don't see it, but you just like hear it and
yeah. But like I think they did show it, like someone's fingers got broken or something. Yeah, and I can't see that. I can't look at that. It's just for me. It's
no, I get that.
I'm not very very good. Working anywhere in like frontline health, like ambulance driver or something. I would just yeah. So there's stuff like that I couldn't watch, and I think it was borderline for me. It was like borderline disturbing. Like I couldn't, like I had to sort of try and like not watch the movie at certain points, which always is a bit like it could just be me. It could just be a bit of a sissy. But like, you know what I mean? It's
Give
like,
me the Dark Crystal. I don't want the.
No, but like, one of my favorite horror movies is not a horror movie. So that shows how much. Oh my goodness! I think the thing is that I appreciated the fact that near the end, like even at Annabelle Creation, there's so much gruesomeness throughout. It was like it felt kind of hopeless at one point. At the very end, it just went back to normal with like because they figured out I think they got some like priests and or something and they fixed everything and it was like it's all back to normal. It was just such a like. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's over now.
Polar opposite to like Hereditary or Apostle even.
Yeah. So I appreciate that side of it. There's always a good ending.
Yeah.
Which I find ruins a lot of horror movies, is if they end the movie hopelessly.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on this fence sometimes because sometimes it's like really great filmmaking and I can see why they did it to like keep that sense of dread with you.
But the thing...
But it doesn't make for like I don't know.
The thing though is like even with Annabelle Creation, it ended and I was like, okay, it's over for them, but you know that it isn't. That's still there's still some haunting going on, and there was still, I think one of the kids, like, isn't there one of the kids that runs away or something, and is like, or gets taken away or something and is like possessed or something.
Yeah, I think.
So there is still that level. It's just that you know that most of them are safe now.
Yeah.
So there's still that level of like, oh crap, what's going to happen next? But it's for now, it's like, okay.
I'm really interested for you to watch The Lighthouse with me sometime because that has got a little bit of like,
yeah,
I wouldn't call it a hopeful movie. So it's it'll be interesting. The last one that I did want to talk about is Creep, which I'll just quickly mention. Have you seen Creep?
I don't think so.
It's just a movie I watched one day. It's like a found footage one on Netflix about amateur videographer sees an ad on Craigslist to get paid like $1,000 for just going and filming a random guy for a day.
Yeah.
He shows up at this random guy's house, and it's this such a good actor, Mark Duplass. He's one of my favorites, and he just acts as this guy who recently he's found out he has cancer, he has a sickness, and he's going to die, and he just wants to record what a day in his life is and send a few messages to his son.
Yeah.
And it just goes so creepy. Like a movie called Creep, you know what's coming, but like there's so many really, really clever uses of the found footage genre and the way of filming, and just some really, really cool character acting, and really unique movie that I haven't seen anything like it before. That's really good.
Yeah.
Give that a watch, guys. Creep 2 is also on Netflix. That's awesome as well. I think the third one's coming out. So
I think you know this about me, but I find it very difficult watching the found footage sort of like
shaky
cam.
Have you seen like Blair Witch?
I've seen a couple of. I think I might have seen that.
Yeah.
Because there's multiple of them, isn't there?
It's one of my favorite genres, and there's so many good ones, but there's so many bad ones.
Yeah, it's strange for me.
The bad outweighs the good.
Liking old horror movies with their bad quality filming and sound and stuff. I find it very difficult watching like shaky cam and stuff like that. It's just, to me, it's just I can't focus on it. It's just like, But I think I have watched one or two that have been enjoyable. So I think it just, to me, it has to be a good one.
It can be really good. It can be an awesome way to make a movie if you do it well. But
most of the time, it just feels like it's a way of cheaply making a horror movie, where it's just like, oh, they're not going to show anything. As soon as anything happens, the camera's all over the show, or it drops, and you never see anything, or you see someone's foot or something, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the suspense. There's no payoff or no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a massive found footage fan, but you're right. There's so many bad ones, and I've seen so many more bad ones that have good. So it's kind of like,
I think it's just because almost anyone can make it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But but I think it's very difficult for them to make one that's actually good.
Yeah. But yeah, that's mine. That's a couple of my favorites. I have so many. I've mentioned Evil Dead 2 before. I love the Evil Dead series. I'm sure we'll talk about more horror movies in the future. But do you have one to take us home?
I've got one.
Yeah,
I've got a few. I've got a few. I was just about to say Night of the Living Dead, but I haven't. I think that's what it's called.
The Night of the Living Dead. That's the old school black and white movie. Me, you, and a couple of friends watched.
I was going to say that as a joke, but I forgot the name of it for a second. Yeah. Night of the Living Dead. We haven't mentioned any zombie movies, have we?
No.
Yeah. Such a bad movie.
I liked it.
I enjoyed the experience, but it was old.
It's so old.
It's not scary.
And it's the old type of horror. And zombies back then, they're so slow. They don't even look like zombies. They're just people. It's a classic, dude, though. It's...
But here's one I'll recommend, though, is The Dead Don't Die.
I haven't seen this. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen it once. I think I need to watch it again to fully appreciate it.
There we go.
Very... You know what? I'm not even going to tell you anything about it. Just watch it. Just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
And
I know it's like an ensemble cast of comedic actors, right? Like it's Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Whole heap of comedians. He's like the guy who played Kylo Ren.
Yeah. I don't know a lot of the names of the people, but there's that lady from Lord of the Rings. What's her name?
Which lady? Liv Tyler.
She played Galadriel? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
Is
Kate Blanchett?
I'm trying to remember that.
It seems like a movie she'd be in.
Which one's Galadriel? I'm trying to remember.
Which one is Galadriel from Lord of the Rings?
No, here we go.
Oh no.
Here comes the hate.
Oh no.
It's late, okay? I'm trying to remember.
She's the elf with the blonde hair. They go to visit, she gives them the gifts. She freaks out at the ring and like goes all witchy at one point.
Yeah, well, she didn't freak out at it. She was just trying to tell him what she would do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Mr. Lord of the Rings professional. We didn't even know who Galadriel was.
I knew who it was, but I was freaking out that I said that it was the other elf lady that married Aragorn, because I don't know her name.
Arwen.
Arwen. Yeah.
Arwen, Eowyn, Galadriel. The
Yeah.
three. What are we talking
Arwen?
about again?
Eowyn?
Arwen, Eowyn. Yeah, it's
Is
confusing.
Eowyn the soup lady? The stew lady?
Yeah. He keeps giving Aragorn a stew and he keeps having to pretend he likes it.
Yeah.
So good. But yeah,
Okay.
I watch
Anyway.
Dead Don't Die. We got to do it.
She's in it, anyway. She's
Kate
like-
Blanchett. I love it.
Yeah.
She's such a good actress.
Yeah.
I love a good Kate Blanchett movie. Let's do it. Let's do Dead Don't Die, The Lighthouse double feature sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
Another rainy day. We'll just do it.
Yeah. But yeah, I won't tell you any more about it. Watch the movie, and then when we talk about it again on the podcast,
Yeah.
we won't hold back spoilers. So,
There we go.
but yeah, definitely watch it with an open mind and watch it, and yeah, just see where you go with it, and yeah, don't expect anything crazy.
Would you say
no, it is. Do expect something crazy. It's pretty crazy.
In your
But,
opinion, is it better than Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us for another bumper episode for our 10th. Thanks for hanging
It's
out
always
with
the
us.
rambling ones.
It's always these ones when we kind of leave ourselves with an open discussion. But thanks so much for hanging out with us, guys. Let us know your favorite horror movie. We're always up to watching more good ones because we both love the genre.
and more horror movies that are so bad that they're good.
Yeah, those are good as well.
Yeah.
We need to watch Birdemic, Shock and Terror. I've heard that's an absolutely terrible horror movie.
Yeah.
It sounds like Birdemic. But yeah, let us know. Yeah, let us know some horror movie suggestions, and let us know if you watch any of the ones that we have talked about as well. We'd be keen to hear your thoughts. And we will catch you guys next episode, where Hamish is going to be talking about big cats in New Zealand.
In New Zealand.
Really big cats.
Cool.
Sweet.
Catch you guys next time.
See ya. Like an intro now. We kind of need to come up with a proper outro. We don't even have an intro. Next episode we're going to be real professional. We're like, welcome to the Collectania of everything.
Well, next time we're going to have it all scripted because I'm going to be writing down my...
Completely. I'll script my parts too. But we're going.
Oh wow!
yeah. Here's where I gasp. Here is where I offer this. But we gotta have the sound of pages turning as the podcast starts, and it's like Collectania of everything. Entry number 11. It's gonna be like, and then at the end we've got like a book closing.
Yeah.
There you go. Get ready for the next episode, guys.
That can be through on the
Professional
mic.
stuff.
I think I'm just ruining everything you're saying.
Oh, you always do.